Hello, mortals! This is the Booktube Goddess, the #1 drag queen booktuber on YouTube. And this is a Get Ready With Me where I put on drag makeup and to film videos later today. And Cappuccino won't be able to be here. That's perfectly all right. Thank you for checking in. Really appreciate it. And Lynette is here. Yay! And if you're in the chat, please say hello. And as usual, my #1 question is, how was your reading today or this week? My reading is I finally finished that Lovecraft-inspired short story writer, Pugmire. And I have to say, his writing is really good on a prose level. At some points, I thought it could be edited more. There were some word choices that were questionable, like some old-fashioned words for women of color that felt very dated. So I thought that was grounding us in like the 30s and 40s. Nothing controversial, but it wasn't. He just has this old-fashioned writing. But I tell you, there was this, I read enough horror that I don't usually get freaked out, but I actually, on one of the stories, I was wincing. I was like, ugh, ugh, which hardly ever happens. Cool Gamers here. Thank you for joining us. And then I finally started Delicious Monsters by Sambury's. What's her name? Anyway, the young adult horror. And that one's interesting too. I'm not very far into it. It has 2 POVs. And I think most of it's written from this POV of this girl named Daisy, who lived 10 years ago, according to the story, and who apparently died, but we haven't gotten to the part where she died yet. And then the other point of view is this, I want to say young woman, named Brittany. And here's the thing. I think this could have been an adult horror. Everything so far feels like an adult horror. The language, it uses like cuss words like shit and a couple F-bombs. And it feels very adult to me. And why I was saying Brittany is a young woman is because I believe she's 18 in the story, and she's like a YouTuber who does retrospectives or investigations of ghost stories. So she's investigating this girl who apparently died 10 years ago, Daisy. But it's like, it's going out of its way to make her fit into the young adult age group. Because it's like, well, or maybe she's 17, but she has this like internship at a company. It's odd. It's odd. Fit to be Red's here. Yay. Thank you for joining us. You finished Cold People, which is a book. Yeah, I wasn't crazy about that cover, but I remember you told me a little bit about it. It sounded interesting. And Jackie's here. Lyselle Sambury, thank you. Jackie is my sister. Thank you for joining us. Oh, and your icon now is the wild robot. Okay, so I need to start on a look. And I like grabbed a red wig, so I was gonna do red or maybe pink. So let's get started. Oh, I got some LED lights back here. I don't even know if you can see them, but I can like change the color. Come on, change. There, it's red. That's yellow. Come on. Oh. Green. Let's go with green. Anyway, I don't know. It was like $20 for 50 feet of LED light. And okay, red. Or maybe I should just do pink. The problem with pink is to get a ombre look. Dark pink is basically red. So let's see. Oh. They had only 30 days to get to Antarctica, not 30 years. They had 30 days to set up a civilization? Huh. Okay, genetically engineering people to survive the cold. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start with black. I don't usually do this. No. I better start with pink. I just realized how it could go terribly wrong. Look, it's set over 20 years. Interesting. Hey, Sandra. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I'm thinking of the book that I just read, Terraformers, which spans thousands of years. Like, I think according to the book, it takes about 10,000 years to terraform a planet. And there's a lot of genetic engineering. I mean, people are basically printed in like these 3D printers. Yeah, I wish I liked that book more than I did. As usual, I have trouble drawing a straight line. Okay, reminds me a little Dr. Moreau for the making people. 4 to 5, but had an open ending for a sequel, maybe. Oh, Thistlefoot. Is that a book? I think I didn't choose it as my pick for Shelve It or Shove It, but it was one of my shelved books. I'm really curious about it because it had that Baba Yaga motif to it, but it looked contemporary. So, also Magical House books. See, this is my problem with not reading blurbs and just looking at the covers. I just totally guess what the book could be about. Gravity's Rainbow, not my favorite. Dahlgren. Why are you reading Dahl? How many times have you read Dahlgren? I've actually read it more than once, but and the Sparrow. I don't know what the Sparrow is. Gravity's Rainbow, by the way, is by that's a Werner Vinge, right? That's the his intro into, or his book about virtual reality. It's okay. Not as good, in my opinion. He just never really matched what he did, in my opinion, with Fire Upon the Deep. Because the sequel to that wasn't really even a sequel. It was just a novel written in the same universe, or with the same world building. Okay. But Fit, that's a really interesting thing to read 3 books at once. I can't do it. I can't read more than 1 book at once. Yeah, because it had the chicken legs, the Baba Yaga. Sandra, I have to warn you. I do not recommend Dahlgren usually, because it is such a difficult read, and it is, and it's not for everyone. And I will warn you that it has pornographic scenes. I mean, like X-rated, explicit sex scenes. But for those who love it, or those who like it, and that doesn't bother them, it could be it's such a unique read, Dahlgren. So experimental. And I usually don't like stream of consciousness, but it has a bit of that in it. And what's really fascinating about Dahlgren is the story structure, because it doesn't exist. It is sort of a exercise in timelessness. So if you do read it, I'd be curious what you think. Yeah. Based on the Baba Yaga. Watson and Holmes. Love the mega city and the aliens that live there. Holmes and Watson were okay. I love Mrs. Hudson. Well, okay. If you're still with us, Fit, Terraformers, what I wasn't a fan of is that it really isn't a complete novel. It's more of, it feels like 3 novellas in one, and I was expecting a novel. So maybe if it was marketed as 3 novellas, but each one has different main characters. And since the terraforming process is over such a huge long period, there's not that much overlap between the stories. And I'd be really curious if you do read it, because my other issue with it was there were just too many ideas. It was so crammed with so many science fiction ideas that you almost lose the story. And I haven't had that experience reading science fiction that often. So it was a 3-star read for me, but I know other people have been saying that they love it. Oh, by the way, and just to tell you how crazy, because I thought it was going to be a generational story, the way it was described in the blurb. But for generational stories like with Jade War, or I can't really think of science fiction, but James Michener or Thornbirds, that type of thing. There's usually a transition between the generations, but there isn't really in this. And it's weird because people can live thousands of years in this setting. But the last story is pretty much a story about the relationship between a train, like a choo-choo train, and a cat. So it has a lot of ideas. Mrs. Hudson was an alien. Okay, there we go. 2,000 pages. Yeah, Dahlgren is a hefty book. I know that. Gravity's Rainbow isn't that big, I don't think. Oh, that's interesting if they're different genres. Now it's bumped up. Was it pornography that bumped it up? Evie is here. Yay. Can't wait to see this final look. Well, I was going with pink today. Sparrow, Mary Doria Russell. I don't know what you mean. GR is Thomas Pynchon. Oh, Gravity's Rainbow. What am I thinking? I thought it was Werner Vinge. Now I'm confused. Now I don't know what I was thinking of. What novels fit a story within a story trope? Like Never-Ending Story, that type of thing. Okay, so what am I doing? I need to go to a lighter pink. Oh, if Jackie's still here, I'm not going to get into my whole family history, but she was looking up my my mother's, my Japanese mother's records from the relocation camps during World War II. And I swear, Jackie is like a Nancy Drew. She's like pulling up documents. I'm like, oh my God. Magpie, I don't know that one. Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz. Because that sounds like a mystery, cozy mystery type thing. Be odd for a story within a story. Oh, Princess Bride. You have to watch out of not confusing a story within a story for a frame story. Like a frame story is, well, I guess, is there a difference? A frame story is like the story is framed within sort of like bookends between someone's reading you this story. So the story is framed by a parent or whatever reading you the main story. But a frame story could be, doesn't have to be like someone reading you another story. It could be, have you guys ever read Gateway by Frederick Pohl? That one's a frame story, but it's a story framed within a psychoanalyst session. So this guy is being psychoanalyzed and sort of being treated, I guess, for this traumatic experience that he went through investigating a black hole. So okay. Let me. In which an editor starts reading a novel she is editing. The story is told, but the last chapter is missing. So she, oh, that's kind of interesting. That's the Magpie Murders. Oh, that's too bad. Author's died. Or is that within the novel? You really liked Gateway? Yes, I've. That's talk about classic. Well, is it classic? It was written in the 70s. So I guess it's considered a classic. You read it many years ago. Yeah, it's really great. It's a hard pill to swallow, thinking that the novels that you read that you don't really think of as classics because you read them in your lifetime when they were published are now considered classics. I mean, I still think novels I've read in the in the 90s to be contemporary, but for some people they're classics. Are the 80s. Just filling this in a little bit. Oh, so I'm filming. Remember I said I'm not going to do a weekly Critical Role video anymore, and I don't really plan on doing it as a weekly thing. But the last episode last night was just so incredible. I wanted to do another Critical Role video. But I'm trying to keep up with this science fiction defining science fiction genres and types of novels. So I think I'm going to film today Dystopian. Taking on Dystopian. Okay, so now I'm going to go with black. Actually, I want to do one more pass with a much lighter pink. See if I can get even more of an ombre going. The problem is, I don't think you see it on camera. I mean, I can see it, but there's so many things I want to watch on TV too. I still haven't started Picard or The Mandalorian, but I might wait until all the episodes are out. And I started watching the second season of Carnival Row because I know I saw the first season, even though I don't remember that much about it. But the thing about Carnival Row is it is, on paper, it looks like something I am absolutely going to love. Sort of this, I guess, dystopian, steampunk, Victorian setting with fae, fairies and not minotaurs, satyrs that are sort of second-class citizens. It just seems like I should love this story, but I just find it so dark. It is such a dark story that I saw like maybe 3/4 of the episodes, and I'm like, I was like thinking last night, oh, I should finish it, but I just had no desire to. It's like picking up a book and not having the desire to finish it. Okay, I should catch up. Okay, the author has died in the novel. The editor has to investigate its death while searching for the mystery. Actually, that sounds pretty interesting. Random question. Would you want to join a ranking of, what is Rote? R-O-T-E. Well, I don't know if I've read those books. But I'm always interested in doing collabs. What is ROTE? Someone tell me. Oh, Lynette, you should see the movie. I watched the film first and realized it was based on a book a couple years ago. Found they complement each other. I'm really looking forward to your video on dystopian. It's one of your favorite genres. Well, what I'm doing, because, dystopian, such a broad issue, but I'm going decade by decade and picking out like one dystopian novel per decade that is sort of stepped out, that sort of have become the zeitgeist. Because there's a lot of dystopian novels out there, but there aren't that many that just sort of has captured the culture of the time. Oh, Realm of the Elderlings. Oh, how could I not know that? I'd be absolutely into it, Evie. Send me a private message either on Instagram or Twitter and let me know the deets. Yeah, the Realm of the Elderlings could be my favorite science fiction, my favorite fantasy. Certainly contemporary fantasy. And what's interesting about that is if you read it, well, I read it as they were being published. So I got to experience the author's evolution as a writer in real time, because it was they started in the early 90s. And the first series, The Assassin's Apprentice, was a very decent fantasy trilogy, but it didn't really break a lot of new ground. At least it didn't feel that way at the time. I mean, it was kind of interesting, the wit, the sort of naturalistic magic powers contrasted against sort of the high magic world built or magic system that Robin Hobb world built. I mean, and having the main character as an assassin, I mean, it was all interesting. But as the books have progressed, you really see a deepening and a widening of the author's skill until you get to the very end, where you're reading stories obviously inspired by her age, how she's when she's in her 60s as opposed to her 40s or whatever. And the other person who did that was Ursula K. Le Guin in the Earthsea series. The original trilogy, great series, but was written in the 60s when she's in her 30s? I don't know Ursula K. Le Guin's age timeline, but I do know that the very later books set in that world were I think The Other Wind, Tehanu, really reflected sort of a more mature person, which is kind of interesting. Okay. Favorite dystopian book is Davy, which is set. I don't know if I've read that, but I can picture the cover in my head. I remember seeing that in the bookstore. I don't think I picked it up though, which is set hundreds of years after the fall of civilization. The church has banned most technology. Oh, tell me who the author is. Started my first reread of the series the other night, and there is so much to pick up on now knowing the full story. So how I'm more emotional reading it than the first time around. Aniara by Harry Martinson. I haven't read that one. Both Swedish and English. I think I might have read Davy. Lynette, you have just sparked some trapped memories. That is just so familiar. Okay, so I'm not going to take forever on this. I'm just going to go ahead. I think I'm going to just going to do a silver cut crease. I'm not going to go crazy. But I do need to figure out where the eyeliner is going. So Davy was actually an orphan. His mother was a prostitute, and babies are automatically taken. Davy is, oh, hey, it's Buffy. Thank you for joining us. Edgar Pangborn. I want to know what year it was published, because I'm picturing a novel that I remember seeing in the bookstores, but it was probably in the 70s. So maybe I'm way off. Okay, I'm always a little quiet when I put on eyeliner, if you didn't know. Long science fiction poem about a ship that is leaving the dying Earth. Oh, you know, there is a science fiction genre called Dying Earth, which is different from dystopian because it's the end days. Basically, you know, eschaton, the end times. Okay. Dying Earth is, of course, taken from Jack Vance's Dying Earth. It's usually like, I mean, I have it back here somewhere. It's like a collection of stories. Davy was written in 1964. I think you could call it a fix-up novel, But I think it's more like the Martian Chronicles, where you read them as distinct short stories rather than like having a whole arc on it. And I think it might even be more disjointed or short story-ish than Martian Chronicles. Lori, thank you for making it. We are just getting, let me put, I'm going to need some more of this white primer. It's a Beauty Creations, and I think it's like a dupe of the Pia Louise, which is like really expensive. Don't really want to spend tons of money on a primer, but okay, now I'm going to try to make it a little bit pink in the you can't even see it. Okay. Okay, so for the silver, I need a harder brush. I've been doing like these fluffy brushes, and I just get glitter all over the place. So yes. I'm still getting glitter all over the place, but it does feel a little bit more concentrated. Okay. I might put a little bit, see if this will work. Just a little bit of pink. Okay. You don't think Pia Louise is worth the money? I know, because a lot of drag queens recommend it, and a lot of, I guess, makeup gurus do. And I was like, oh, they're like $20 for like a little tube like this, and this is like, you know, like $5. I'm probably lying. I don't remember how much it was. I just remember these beauty creations were a lot less inexpensive and seemed and worked very well for me. So, but for people that make real makeup, I mean, put on real makeup. Oh, starting with James Tiptree short story collection. The House of Dudley, a different family angle in the Tudor era. Huh. Oh, Philip A. Farmer. Love the Riverworld series. Two Hawks from Earth, also known as the... Okay, don't know that one. It's brand new nonfiction. Oh, for people looking up sci-fi books written in the 80s. Why was I thinking of John Varley? Oh, it's for one of the tag videos I did. But the Titan series by John Varley is pretty interesting. Although I think there are like triggers in it. So look that up if that's of concern. Thinking about what to do underneath. I guess I could do like a purple underneath just for something different. I was going to try to do a different brush, but I mean the same brush. Okay, the purple just looks like pink. Let me try a different purple. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Need to up your nonfiction, really falling behind. You are better people than me because I just don't. I just want escapism. So yeah, I usually end up reading nonfiction like one per year or something. Sandra's off for the Eurovision party. Yay. It's so funny because at least here in America, we know very little about Eurovision, but I know it's huge in Europe. I read plenty of escapist fiction. I think you guys read a lot more than I do, honestly. Fiction for escapism, nonfiction for knowledge. Day of the Drones. I don't know that one, Buffy. Day of the Drones. Sounds kind of contemporary for drones, because drones is a hot topic. I think the two hot topics in science fiction now are drones and, of course, AI. Okay, I'm going to with my Mac Chroma Cake to (1960s). Read a total of 7 nonfiction books out of 39. Like I said, more than me. I'm curious about the Day of the Drones if it was written so long ago. I mean, pre what we know of drones today. Kazuo Ito. The name's familiar. I don't think I've read anything by them. The reason why the name's so familiar is because it's my mother's name is Kazuko, which is the female version. (35% nonfiction. Wow, Lori. I am succeeding on my reading at least 50% of female authors. Riff on Bees. I just splattered black chroma cake. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but it feels like there's more female writers that are debuting than there are male writers. Are you hearing my husband downstairs? He's greeting a client. He's a hairdresser. Just ignore the background noise in Casa Booktube Goddess. Okay. Because interesting enough, the book industry as an industry is dominated by women. When you look at the number of editors, agents, just professionals in the book industry itself. The phone. Forgot to mute it. Okay, I need to fix this black situation. It just the crease is just cut too high. I mean too wide. Okay, that's better. It's only fair that female authors are taking the lead. Yeah. By the way, I have no problem with that. I was at about 50-50. I know I read a lot of women. They read mainly thrillers. Yeah. Well, there's certainly some genres that are still heavily dominated by men, like thrillers. Except if you go to young adult thrillers, I think, are mostly women. But they dominate the young adult market anyway. Okay, there we go. Much better. And let's try. Okay, it didn't quite blend as much as I wanted, but okay. I know someone who only reads nonfiction. Fiction is a waste of time, according to them. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that. If you can't learn anything from fiction, that is on you, pal. David Attenborough only reads nonfiction. He's believed to be the most traveled man in history. Interesting. Okay. I am going to... did I put on blush? I don't think I put on blush today. How'd that happen? Okay. I'm going to go with or jump to lips. I'm just going to do red. We're just going to do red. And I think I'm going to outline in black again. Yeah, some people just don't like reading at all. Fiction, nonfiction. I mean, nothing wrong with it. That's actually my natural lip line. All right, let me go. Okie doke. Oh, I'm continuing to try to release on a Sunday. So this dystopian novel probably won't be released till next Sunday, but tomorrow I have a video. Did I say novel? The dystopian video on the video on dystopian novels will probably be next Sunday, but tomorrow is a video on alternate histories, which turned out to be really short again. It was like a 5-minute video. Oh well. Um, and for those who don't know, I hate doing my lips, but I'm not done yet. I'm going to put a little bit of highlight on it. And a little bit going to. Okay. Once this dries, I'll put a gloss over it and it'll look really shiny. Okay. So actually I can do a gloss now. Okay. He's been making nature documentaries for about 70 years. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Evie is back. Yay. I am currently reading Delicious Monsters by Lascelle Sambury, which is a middle grade horror that I think is reading like an adult horror. And I'm not mad about it because I prefer adult horror. But I just am like 20% into it. Two Hawks from Hawks is sort of alternate history. Parallel world where the American continent does not exist. Interesting. Oh, thank you. It's a Tower 28. I don't know. It's just sort of this. It's a clear lip gloss, but it has like these gold flecks in it. Okay, let's put on a wig. Actually, let's put on jewelry. I thought I was going to do red today, so I grabbed a bunch of red everything, but it's mostly pink. The eyes, anyway. And in the wig, it's actually my Christmas holiday wig. But it has a poinsettia on it, but I don't think you really see it much when I wear it because facing face on, it's like, oops, it's over here. But you can't really take it off. I was thinking, oh, maybe I could cut this off, but it would leave a big hole because this is like glued on. Anyway. Oops. You don't want the wig tag showing. Okay. And this is a hard front. I've learned that I'm a drag queen that prefers hard fronts. Gloves. And this is the final look. Ignore the poinsettia. Oh! No, they're not on, Lori. This is why I am so glad. I think I can put it on with the wig. I forgot the lashes. I forgot the lashes. Oh my God. See, where would I be without you guys? Okay, let's put on some lashes. Then the look will be, hopefully, complete. Oh, shoot. I have like double stack lashes. I just broke them apart. I think it's going to be okay though if I. Yeah, whenever this happens, I'm so confident that everything is done, and then it's like. Oh man, I hope this works. Yeah, I think next week or next time I do drag, I'm going to have to definitely make a new pair of lashes. Which I'll try to do before I start filming, because okay, is that better? Forget the lash quite often. I did too often. I liked it with that. Thank you, Fit. Okay, so let me just throw on the gloves and then we'll be done. Oh, well, this is 90 minutes. This is like the perfect time, I think, for these live streams. At one point, I thought maybe I could get it down to like an hour, but if I do that, then I would be rushing and I probably wouldn't be talking to anyone. When it gets to be pushing 2 hours, I think I'm sort of testing your patience. Certainly testing my patience. But here we are. The final result. And like I said, I'll be filming. I want to film another Critical Role video. I know I said I was going to wait till the end of the month, but something really huge happened. I just want to do it. And then I want to film a video on a dystopian science fiction novels, which I'll probably release on next Sunday. But you can see this look again. Oh, thank you for coming, Evie. Yeah, and DM me about the Elderlings video, because I am interested. Okay, guys. As always, I hope to see you next week, and may all the books you read be blessed. I had to think about it.